Hello and welcome to Scott Bryant's Fitness Systems. Thank you for clicking on the video. This video is all about how to design the perfect workout program for you, yourself, or for an athlete. And with my 22 years of personal training experience and 32 years of workout experience, and designed hundreds of programs for different types of clients, athletes, as well as the office worker, as well as the person in lower back pain. I'm going to recommend books and I'm going to recommend courses, and it's up to you whether you want to go down that route or not if you want to learn more about how to design the perfect workout program. Please subscribe, please press the bell icon. I upload videos nearly every single day. So the first thing about program design, when it comes to your workout, you must have a program. If you don't have a program, then you're setting yourself up for pain, injury, and not getting the success that you're looking for in the gym. So if your personal trainer or coach is not designing your program, they're just guessing on the results that they may get for you, okay? So it's really important for you to have a document that has your program in, and you can evaluate it and look at it every month, every 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 8 weeks to see the progression and the improvements that you're getting. You can't just go by, oh, my body feels a little bit better, oh, I've got less back pain, oh, I've got less body fat. If you've got a program that's designed specially for, say, you're a golfer and you want to lower your handicap, or say you're a model and you want to go down in inches on your body because of body fat for a modelling job that you may have, it has to be quantified, it has to be documented. If it's not documented by your PT, then they're just really guessing at what they're doing. And really you should remember that you should be charged by your trainer, because the trainer, if you ask them to do a program for free, they're not really going to put all the energy into that program. They're going to do it really quickly, or it might be a generic program that they give to every single one of their clients. Now, every program that I designed is specially designed for the person's diet, lifestyle, sports performance, posture, pain, and what their body really needs. But obviously, I've been doing this for 22 years, and for the average PT, they're not really going to have that much knowledge in which to be able to do that yet. But there may be the odd guy that's done a lot of studying, a lot of reading, worked with many athletes that could design you the perfect workout program. Now, I've seen physio programs that have been very bad. I've seen other trainer programs that have been very bad, in my opinion, but I'm going to be quite biased because I've done lots of studying, lots of reading, and I studied a master's in California in exercise. So it's really, really important for you to remember that my top tips are 5 exercises only, even less than 5. It could be 4 or 2 exercises, depending on whether you're in adrenal fatigue or you've got other health issues, that if you get too much in your workout program, it could push your physiological load up, which will stop your body from improving. Say I met somebody recently that had a tennis elbow and they've been doing bench press and wondering why the tennis elbow has not healed or gone away. And I said to this person, so where's your workout program? Oh, I don't have one, but I see that trainer over there. Can you see my point? So you can't track what exercise may be causing the problem or the issue, okay? So 5 exercises only. But when it comes to reps, sets, loads and tempos, so the reps is how many times you move the weight, the tempo is the speed, okay, and the sets is how many times you do it, will all give you different results in the body. So most personal trainers will stick to 8 to 12 reps because they think everybody wants to be a bodybuilder and need to gain muscle. Now, some people may need to gain strength before they need hypertrophy or to gain muscle. So what I do with my clients is that I do a deep evaluation, a deep assessment that takes me from 1 to 4 hours to do before I even design your program. And then I'm looking at your diet and lifestyle, which you get about this much paperwork to fill out that will take you 10 days. So I can see where there may be a blockage and why you may not be getting the results in your exercise program. So first of all, 5 exercises only. Core must always be done last. Never ever do the plank, because 72% of people have a disc herniation waiting to happen. And I speak to lots of people, oh, I've got this dull ache in my back, but I'm still going to play tennis, I'm still going to play golf, I'm still going to play rugby, but not realising that this could be a disc herniation which could affect the way that they urinate. It could give them sciatica pain. It can give them lots of complications if they don't get it assessed straight away, in my opinion. So it's really important for you to understand that the physiological load is important for fat loss as well. So if you're going through a divorce, you're paying a mortgage, you're worried about paying your food bill, and your physiological load is so high that if you do hard strength and conditioning or too much cardiovascular work, your body will not change. You may get a bigger waist because your cortisol levels are too high in the body. And there's ways to assess that, but I'm not going to talk about how to assess it in this video. So when it comes to program design, 5 exercises. Now, the optimum amount of time to work out is 15 minutes if you're doing HIIT training, or 60 minutes. But really, when I train my clients, we warm up, we stretch, we work out for 15 minutes, we cool down, we do some energizing. That's an hour gone. It goes just like that. It goes really, really quick. So it's really important for you to look at what sort of result that you're looking for. Now, if you're doing HIIT training or CrossFit and you're in pain, you should stop doing it immediately, because this is where you will tear a ligament, joint, tendon, or maybe damage a spinal segment. So really important, if you're in pain, HIIT training, cross training, or anything that's really intense should be stopped until your pain is down to a 0 or down to a number 2. And as you've got that down, then you can start increasing the load in which to train a bit harder. Now, I worked with a tennis player recently, and we'd done the 60 minutes, and he still wanted to do more. But that's because he doesn't understand that to be in peak performance is, 60 minutes. Any longer than that, you're really overtraining and not getting the result that you're looking for. Does that make sense? Unless you're doing it specific for a specific sport, but he didn't book me for 2 hours, so he doesn't get 2 hours. Does that make sense? So when it comes to program design and exercise prescription, you must always make sure the highest physiological load in exercise is done first, not last. So if you was doing deadlifting, you would never give deadlifting at the beginning of the program. It would always, you'd never give it at the end of the program. You'd always give it at the beginning. So if you're doing squats and lunges, you would always do the lunges first and the squats second, because the lunge is much harder than the squat. Does that make sense? The same as if you're doing, say you wanted to do high explosive swings and you wanted to deadlift on the same day, which one would you do first, or in the same workout? You would make sure that you did the deadlift first, because it's more neurologically demanding compared to the kettlebell swing. Does that make sense? So really, to get program design right, you need to work with a coach that's got lots of experience and studied lots of stuff. Not somebody that's just come out of YMCA or Premier that's gone, or NASM, that hasn't really had enough education when it comes to program design. So some books I'm going to recommend. So one of the books I'll recommend is called Bodybuilding from Heavy to Super Slow. Really good book. Talks about HIIT training, the history of training, and the history and excellent program designs that you could try on your own body if you can't afford a PT or a coach to help you. The next one is by Charles Parloquin, Current Strength Trends in Strength Training. Great book if you're looking for size and strength, but I know not everybody's looking for that. Another one, Winning the Arms Race by Charles Parloquin. And then there's another one called Trends in Strength Training. If you're looking to burn body fat, strength training for women and for men is a must, an absolute must. But getting the reps, steps, loads and tempos right is really important if you're looking for fat loss. Another great book, Old Time Strongman Training, if you want to get strongman training. And then there's another book called Insane Training, which is got great program design in there again, but very intense. But if you're looking to train mums, dads and athletes, then this is a great course to do, which is called Advanced Program Design, that I studied a while ago, which was excellent. And then that was advanced, and this was program design that I studied, because I didn't see the point in designing programs and not doing the background study that needs to be done to understand rep, sets, loads, tempos, wave loading, HIIT training, and all these other ways of training to change the body. Remember that we're all unique, we're all different. So what might work for one person may not work for another. And this is why program design is important and assessments is important, in which to find out what has worked and what hasn't worked. Does that make sense? So just because you're doing a lay-in hamstring stretch doesn't mean that your hamstrings will get flexible. You may need to do a waiter's bow instead of doing laying on your back hamstring stretch, in which to get the flexibility back in your body. And this is where my clients pay me a lot of money for me to not guess, to assess, and to make sure that I'm getting them the result that they're looking for. Now, if I have a client that's looking for fat loss or weight loss, but they're not willing to stop drinking, or my book's just fallen on the floor, or they're not willing to quit alcohol, or they're binging on sugar every night, then it doesn't matter how good the program is. If they're putting junk in the body, they can't expect to get huge results. And this is where my holistic lifestyle coaching that I use on my clients really works well, because it enables me to go even deeper and add that to the program design, which nobody else will be doing. The same as doing body fat caliper measurements with Harbinton's body fat calipers. If you're not doing that, then you're really guessing whether the client's losing body fat or not. And it needs to be done once a week, every week, until that client has reached their goal of maybe a six-pack, or they want to get down from 20% body fat if they're a woman down to 17% body fat, say, okay? So with program design, what I found works is 5 exercises only, and push and pull split. So if you're doing a pull, it would be a deadlift, an upright row, a cable pull, a chin up, them type of exercises. And if you're doing a push, it might be seated bench press, seated shoulder press, or it might be a press up, it might be a squat. But how you would do it was always do the high physiological load exercise first. So let's run you through a push pattern. So they'd be doing a lunge, which is a push. Then they'd do a squat. Then they might do a skater's lunge if they really want to work their legs hard. Then say if they want more chest development, then I would get them to do a cable fly, and then get them to do a bench press, and then maybe a shoulder press and maybe a kettlebell swing to give them a bit more endurance and fat loss, and then do lower abdominals at the end, because most lower abdominals are either laying over a Swiss ball or laying on the floor, and you always want to make sure that's at the end of your workout. So that would be a push pattern, and I said about the pull pattern, but you don't have to do that. But I wouldn't recommend training like a bodybuilder and doing one muscle group like your biceps in 1 hour, because you'll be overtraining that muscle group. So I found in my years of experience that if you want to gain lean muscle, you need to do the body as a whole all together. So you don't just do chest for an hour. You don't just do lats for an hour. You do, the push pattern or the pull pattern. And I found in my own body, I've not been injured in over 5 years, simply because the push pattern and the pull pattern works really well and getting rest. The optimum amount of workouts, the minimum would be twice a week. The optimum is 4 times a week. 5 to 6 times a week is just pure addiction. It's not going to benefit you whatsoever. You will raise the physiological load up in the body, and as the physiological load goes up, your results go down and pain goes up. So I don't recommend anybody to train 5 or 6 days a week. It's just stupid, it doesn't work, and you won't get the results in the long term. And the guy that wrote the books that I showed you, Charles Harlequin, he passed away at age 55, but he worked with over 400 athletes in 200 different sports and had a sports science master's and other bits of paper to his name, and could speak 4 languages fluently, which I think is amazing. And he read a lot of books and put 24 books out there about training and program design, so you can research him and look at some of the books that he recommends if you really want to get your knowledge up there on program design. So whether you're a personal trainer, or you're a coach, or you're everyday mum and dad, or you're an athlete, program design is so important. And I can track back if my client gets an injury or something untoward happens. I can track back to see whether the program is designed as caused the problem. But normally the client has decided to do something completely different because they saw it on TikTok, or they saw it on YouTube, or they saw a mate doing it, and that's what causes the problem. Okay? So really important, remember red lights if you're getting any pain anywhere in the body. Try and work around the pain. If you're getting knee pain, don't still do squats. If you're getting lower back pain, try and avoid lower back exercises until you see a professional that can help you work around the lower back pain. I've had clients injure them shoulder skiing. I've had clients with knee pain, back pain, and managed to be able to get them all to still work out and still have a great workout without making the pain worse. Does that make sense? And if you are doing a personal trainer program, or you've got somebody to design your program, and your pain levels have gone up, then it's the wrong program. So I was seeing a client a while ago, and he showed me his physio program. 25 exercises. 25. So I reduced it down to 5, only got him to do the things that he was weak in for about 8 weeks. Then he conquered all the weakness, and he managed to be able to get stronger and be pain-free. But it took about 4 to 5 months to get him pain-free, because he'd been doing bad movement patterns for so long. It takes a period of time to reverse what the physio was doing with him compared to what I was doing with him. Does that make sense? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you an insight, and the books that I've recommended and the courses that I've recommended will help you to widen your knowledge. If you're really serious about your training, I wouldn't say buy them books unless you're really serious, because you're just going to waste your money. You're going to read them and not understand them. Does that make sense? But if you're a trainer or coach, then it would definitely help you. So let's recap. 5 exercises, always doing the high physiological load first. And when it comes to rep sets, loads and tempos, you'll see lots of trainers going 25 to 20 reps give you hypertrophy. It doesn't. It's a complete lie. Only 8 to 12 gives you hypertrophy. From 1 to 6 builds strength and a little bit of size, but it's more strength and power. Okay? And remember that different muscle groups will react to different rep sets, loads and tempos. So if you're trying to get your calves bigger, it should be 20 reps for 10 or 15 sets. If you're trying to train your quad muscle and you want that to get bigger, you would train that into the 8 to 12 repetition zone, and you might do 5 or 6 exercises at high intensity. But if you're trying to get your trapezius bigger, you might do much heavier weight but lower repetitions. You know, you've got to find what your body likes and what it adjusts to. But remember that the abdominal wall is fast twitch fiber. So if you do 200 repetitions on your abdominal wall, you're training the fast muscle to be slow, which is not good if you're a boxer or a golfer or a tennis player. Does that make sense? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please post and comment down below. And I upload videos nearly every day. Sometimes I have a little break. But I hope you enjoy my content. Please comment, please subscribe, please press the bell icon, and I'll be chatting to you again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.